Oh no, we spilled that idea. It was about the Dark Empire comics from the old Star Wars expanded universe. Let's see what is left of it. The Star Wars Dark Empire comics were originally written without regard for the Thrawn trilogy that came before it. But we might only need a few lines of dialogue here and there to align them better. Let's take a closer look at the idea. Dark Empire and the Thrawn trilogy were the first two big stories set after Return of the Jedi. The authors only learned of each other's projects once they were already almost done writing them, and neither really liked the other's project. In the end, Dark Empire was set after the Thrawn trilogy and connected to it by only the opening crawl. However, especially in Dark Empire 1, you can clearly feel that it was intended to be a different point in time, shortly after the Battle of Endor. What is missing to link the two better is to explain what is going on with the major characters from the Thrawn trilogy and making losing Coruscant a much bigger deal. The opening text of the comic could be extended to change how we see the loss of Coruscant. It could say something along the lines of, following the deaths of Darth Vader and the Emperor and the destruction of the second Death Star, the Rebel Alliance proclaimed a new republic over 3/4 of the galaxy. As you can see that the original text, let's continue with that for a bit longer. But without the thousands of Jedi Knights who formed the backbone of the old Republic, the new Confederation was a precarious one. Long years of struggle followed, during which Imperial factions gained control over 1/4 of the galaxy. Whole systems became fortresses, bristling with firepower. Then, 5 years after the Battle of Endor, the infamous Grand Admiral Thrawn mounted a terrible assault, nearly bringing the fledgling Republic to its knees. Ultimately, Thrawn was defeated. But within days of his downfall, surviving members of the Emperor's ruling circle staged a stunning assault on the Emperor's former throne world, Coruscant. And then we change it up a bit, still licking its wounds after Thrawn's offensive, the new Republic was taken completely by surprise. Acting quickly, Admiral Akbar was able to evacuate the fleet, Mon Mothma, and most of the rebel leaders to a hidden base towards the galaxy's core, while Garm Bel Iblis and other Republic generals stayed behind to defend the city planet. Despite the rebels' efforts, the vital system soon fell once again under Imperial control. It seemed certain that a new empire was about to emerge from the ashes of the old. That very possibility triggered a ferocious civil war among the numerous Imperial factions on the planet that they had just reconquered. Who would sit in the Emperor's throne? Who had the right, and the might? Meanwhile, the rebels were quick to seize the opportunity to sow confusion among the feuding Imperials, using 2 captured Star Destroyers to stage hit-and-run attacks into the war zones. One such raid, over the raging Imperial city battleground, ended in disaster. The Alliance Star Destroyer Liberator, commanded by Luke Skywalker and Lando Calrissian, crash-landed on the planet's surface. Princess Leia Organa and her husband Han Solo, having seen to it that their twin children are safely hidden away with their aide Winter, are on a daring mission to rescue their fallen comrades. With these changes to the opening crawl, it seems that Coruscant is still being fought over during the entirety of the Dark Empire timeline. Also, it is explained why Garm Bel Iblis and any other missing New Republic leaders from other stories were. Next, we need to include Talon Karrde and Mara Jade somehow. This can be done by adding a line into some scene where the New Republic leaders are having a conference, where Leia or Han says something like, "We still haven't heard anything from Karrde or the Smuggler Alliance." The Empire seems to be giving them a hard time as well. Alternatively, this sentence could be said in conjunction with Han and Leia leaving for Hutt space, explaining why they had to go to Han's old smuggler friends instead of their new allies. If possible, some panels of the New Republic outpost or New Alderaan could include some background Noghri guards, as they should already have started protecting Leia. Lastly, it should be made sure to consistently show Leia with her own lightsaber, though she can be reluctant to use it. Well, what do you think of this idea? Please note that everything presented here is simply the results of an experiment. No part of this presentation is intended as a correction of an existing story or claims to be the real story. The selection or omission of any parts of the source material is not to be understood as commentary, positive or negative, on the original productions. These are simply thoughts and experiments based on existing material, and none of it could be created without the work of all those involved in creating the original works. As with any scientific result, you may utilize any of the story ideas that resulted from these experiments for your own experiments or production, while citing this experiment as its source. Okay, time to clean this up. Goodbye until next time.